Welcome to Education for Excellence. I'm Bill Karlzen. We're going to talk about education. And why I got involved in Education for Excellence is because I saw a lot of students struggling with their educational endeavors and their learning process and test taking and all the other things that lead up to grades and the certificates and graduation and diplomas. So basically, the major purpose of this course and this program is to give you quality insights into your learning process and your educational life. By taking this course, you've made an investment in yourself, every single person in this room. Basically, it's like buying a house. You invest in the house, you keep it for a long time, so therefore you want the best quality house you could possibly get for the money, correct? So realize that this is an investment in yourself. Now, I want you to ask yourself this question. What is my reason for achieving an education? And there's a lot of things such as better jobs, more money, easier life, more insights into certain skills or abilities or talents. They are called KSKs, which is basically knowledge, skills, abilities, which you use mainly in the business world, but you also use it in the logical process, such as sciences and math, engineering, etc. So you have to make a commitment to yourself, and you have to say, I'm investing in myself, so I'm going to commit. And I'm going to commit to this course and get the most out of this course I can possibly get. And that's why you should ask yourself, why am I doing this? And the answer is simply you. No, not me, you. Each one of you is the reason why you're doing it. So point to yourself now and say, I'm doing this for me. Come on, everybody, point. I'm doing this for me. Very good, very good. So that's the key thing. Now, what you're going to get out of this book and this course is simple. It's what you get. Everybody's going to get something different. Some people are going to get a lot of things and go, wow, this is great, and oh, wow, I can apply this to my life, and I can do this, and I can do that. And other people will say, yeah, you know, I got that one thing that I needed to get an A in the course, and that's all I wanted to know. So, in my classes and programs, I share some thoughts with participants. And the first thing is, you are in a very safe environment. This is an educational environment, but it's informal. So therefore, we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff about success, student success, learning process, left and right brain theory, test-taking skills, how to get an A, all of that fun stuff to achieve your educational goals. But this course is going to go beyond that because you're going to also apply it to your professional life and even your personal life. So you're going to make discoveries and insights into yourself through this entire course. And here's the big fallacy about teaching or learning. First of all, I'm not a teacher. I don't teach you. You are the teachers. You teach yourselves. See, I'm only a guide. I take you and I show you all these different concepts and ideas and all these wonderful things and all these different things that you go, wow, this is great. But until you discover them, until you learn them, you haven't really learned anything. So therefore, you are your own teacher. Let me give you the perfect example. My mom loves this example because she kept telling me when I was younger, don't touch the hot stove. Don't touch the hot stove. And so, guess what? I didn't learn until I touched the hot stove and I burnt my fingers and I'm and she's putting in the butter and I'm like, oh gosh, this is crazy. So what happens is that I didn't learn not to touch a hot stove until when? Until I touched the hot stove. So therefore, I taught myself not to touch a hot stove. Now, you may feel a little bit uncomfortable going through some of the theories and concepts and things like that. And realize that this is part of the learning process. See, we get very comfortable in our lives, and when we discover new ideas or different ways of doing things, sometimes it makes us feel a little uncomfortable. But realize I'm never going to do anything that will harm you or that I will force you to ever do anything. I'm giving you the opportunity to apply the knowledge and expertise that I have mastered and applied throughout my life. One of my favorite people is Leo Biscaya. And most of you people don't know who he is because he was really big in the 80s. And he wrote a lot of books on life and love. He was a USC professor. And he says the best thing you can give someone is to give someone you. And you are the most important person. Realize you are the most important person in your learning process. You're the one that learns. I'm just guiding you. Like the blind leading someone who can see. But I'm still leading you if you think about that. So open your minds, energize yourself, and let's start with the learning process. First of all, on page I-8 of the textbook, life's purpose and process. Life is a lifelong learning process. From the time you're born to the time you die, you learn. That's all to it. Now, some of us learn at different rates. Some of us have different things that may limit us to certain things, but we all learn. Because you wouldn't be here today if you couldn't learn. It's just that simple. Every day you should learn something about yourself. Some knowledge, some skills, some insight, or some talents you may have that you've never discovered. Because life is the process, I'm sorry, that's wrong. Learning is the process of life. Say that with me. Learning is the process of life. And that's all it is. We actually learn from the time we're born to the time we die. Your first steps as a baby, you learn. Now your parents are there to help guide you, but you're the one learning how to walk, right? So that's the key. Now, have you ever taken a class that you felt you learned absolutely nothing in? Did you learn anything? Yes, you learned never to take that class again. It's that simple. So learning is just not a mental process. It's not like the cartoons where you see the light bulb go on top of the guy's head or the cartoon character's head, ding, you know. It's not like that. There's a lot more to learning, which we're going to get into. Learning can be an enjoyable process or it can be a painful process. And what I mean by that is that you may have taken a class where you love and you go, oh wow, I love this class. Name a class that you loved in school.
Yeah.
What?
Class of art.
Art. Okay, art. Art. You love art. Okay. So therefore, you're taking an art class and you love it. So therefore, it was a pleasure, right? You enjoyed that class. Well, some people think accounting's a pain, or they think science is a pain, or math is a pain. So that is part of the process of pleasure or the pain of the learning process. See, learning is a natural process of everyone's life. And life is a lifelong learning process. Everyone learns at their own rate and pace, and we're going to talk about that as we go along. Life is a learning experience to enjoy, not to hate. In other words, it should be a pleasure, not a pain. And that's what this class hopefully will be, not a pain. Okay? It should be a pleasure. So now I want to talk about something, and it's called the wonders of your mind. And what's neat about your mind is you all know you have one, right? You know you have a brain? Most of the time? Okay. And there's the physical aspect, which you know it's gray matter and all that stuff. Take a biology course. Mentally, we react to the 5 senses. And some people say the 6, which is ESP. But the 5 senses, which are taste, smell, hearing, touch, and, come on, I can't do this all alone. Sight. What you're seeing right now, sight. Everybody overlooks that for some reason. Always take care of your. So here's the thing, in the discovery process, and I don't like to have cardinal rules. This is supposed to be an informal class, it's supposed to be enjoyable, pleasure, but this is a cardinal rule that you should always remember. Write down any discoveries you make in the learning process. Write them down in this book, write them in a notebook, write them in your diary, write them on the walls, not in the classroom. But write them down, because your discoveries, that's part of the learning process. You've now discovered not to touch a hot stove. You've now discovered not to cut someone off when they're trying to turn in front of you. Or you've discovered other discoveries in your life. The whole thing is that you have to realize the discovery process is part of the learning process. Now, remember, you're your own teacher. So write down in your own words every discovery you make and learn, especially for this course, because it's going to help you in the future. And writing discoveries in your own words is a powerful tool for anyone. Now, the other cardinal rule I want to talk about real quick is you must apply it. Remember, the discovery process, you learn something, then you retrieve that knowledge, then you have to apply that knowledge. So the simple thing is, let's say you basically found a formula to turn water into gasoline. Well, until you actually apply that, is it useful? No. So same thing with computer skills. So you discover computer and you kind of discover different processes with the computer. But until you actually type in the computer and you're working with the computer, have you really discovered, you've discovered it, but you haven't applied it. So therefore, you may not have really fully learned it. So remember, the learning process, you're learning knowledge, you're retrieving that knowledge, and then you're applying that knowledge. So there's three things there, and you have to remember the discovery process. You write down every discovery you make, and you basically must apply those discoveries. I want you to understand that this course is the kind of the foundation of what wonders you have in your brain here, and how we're going to use those wonders, and how we're going to discover new and exciting things, and how you're going to be able to apply those to your educational and professional and personal life. You're also later on going to be able to discover how to do better on tests, how to improve your reading and writing and study habits, how to improve your professional relationships, how to time manage, how to do problem solving, how to learn any subject. Like accounting, you may think, oh, it's a pain, I'm not going to be able to learn it. You can learn it. And how we're going to do that is when we talk more about memory and right and left brain theory, and how all of this fits together, and how powerful a tool you have right here, right in your head. So I thank you for your time, and go home and think about this stuff. Make some discoveries on your own, and make sure you apply those discoveries. Thank you.